Today we have a look at the ill-fitting doors, but first a look at the windscreen frame. In order to start removing the paint from the windscreen surround, I thought I'd drill out all the pop rivets along this finisher, undo the screw that holds the screen tensioner, and it just pulls off. So that's quite a simple little job. Then I've decided to remove this piece of fabric, which is the decorative strip underneath the windscreen surround top. So just a gentle application of force. I'm going to have to remake this anyway, so but I want to use it as a template. So as you can see, it just pulls down. Just have to scrape along the edge to release the fold with a suitable screwdriver, just making sure you go gently. And underneath there was foam. You can see it a bit better on the other side. You can see some foam just there. Just zoom in a little bit. You can see all the foam, and it's just totally disintegrated. And oops, it's all falling out, as you can see there. So I'll carry on to take that off, and then once I've finished all the painting and start replacing everything, I'll remake this. I might even remake it in leather rather than vinyl, but we'll see about that. Well, that was rather a faff. Actually removing the fabric from underneath the windscreen frame was relatively easy. It was well stuck on with, I presume, an Everstick type adhesive, and it's come out in one piece, so I've got a template I can use now. But some of the pop rivets were actually too long, as you can see there, and a bit further along where they made indentations. Now, my OCD, I want to avoid doing that when I put it back together. So it may be that I end up using riv nuts. One of the reasons being that trying to get the remnants of the rivets, pop rivets that is, out of those holes was a pig. A few of them just tapped out, but you can see how flimsy the frame is. Trying to tap them out was making me sweat rather a lot, but I managed to do it with a bit of gentle force and a bit of appropriate use of the Dremel. So they're all out now, but what you can see is, if I can go in a little bit closer, is that practically all of the holes have little cracks emanating from the where the pop rivets went in. Now, I think it's a bit hopeful that it's just in the paint itself, but once I strip it off, I'll have a look, and it may be that I fill those holes and actually drill new ones and use a better method of securing the aluminium trim strip across there. So there we are. That's the top of the trim removed. Before I get onto stripping the paint off the windscreen surround, there are two strips here that you can see, the aluminium strip going down each pillar of the windscreen surround, which is this part here. You can see it. It's held on with 1, 2, 3, 4 pop rivets, which once I've drilled them out and pushed the remnants through, they should just drop down. There is a channel that's the little bits and pieces should drop through. Once I've got that off both sides, I'm going to strip the rest of the paint. It looks as though they are also held on with a little bit of sealant, some mastic, which you can probably see there. It's a little bit gobby. Whoops. It's held on with mastic, which you can probably see down there. It is a little bit gobby in places. So hopefully that'll just peel off without too much trouble. That trim strip came off easier than I thought. The pop rivets drilled out quite well, and fortunately the little stub or shaft of the pop rivet just pulled out on the end of the drill, which was fortunate. So there you can see all the mastic that's helped with a bit of sealing. And as you can see down here, this is the inner part of the trim strip. So all that's got to be cleaned off, and then I can go ahead and start stripping down the windscreen frame of paint. There's another little strip here, if we can zoom in on that, and this is a seal, and it looks as though it should have been rubber. It's very hard now, and it breaks, and it's not doing anything, to be quite honest with you, as you can see. And that is held on with 2 little metal strips. One there, you can see pop riveted at the bottom and at the top, and just under there it's held on again with the same. So that's going to come off once the door's off, but I'm going to leave the doors on, as I said, for a short while I actually strip the outside of the doors. So that will be one of the next jobs. I'm down here on the floor. I thought I'd show you the paint overspray, or rather the fact that they didn't take off various trim strips and bits and pieces, like the door light switch and the door hinge. It's just been sprayed over. They probably took the doors off, but didn't bother to take all the bits and pieces off. So as you can see there, and even the bit that I've just shown you, the rubber strip, that's been sprayed over. So I won't be doing that. They'll all be taken off, stripped down, and hopefully be black rubber down there and shiny hinges and switches. So that's all got to be taken off at the appropriate time. I just thought I'd show you that bit, and it's generally like that over a lot of the car. I just haven't bothered to remove bits and pieces, and it just doesn't look right to me. Well, this isn't right, is it? And it depends on the standard of work you're happy to live with. As you know, the windscreen frame is very flimsy, and with the nature of the chassis that's fitted to these cars, any structural support or reinforcements is very difficult. But there is a steel rod which goes up the corner, as you can see there. You can just about make out the support. Goes all the way up to give a little bit of stiffening to the frame, but It helps, I suppose, but as something structural, it's as useful as a chocolate fire guard. But I just thought I'd show you that. If we have a look at this part of the windscreen surround, we can see there that paint's been applied on paint, so not all of the paint's been stripped off this part of the car as on some other parts, but I'll review that in a short while once I've finished the windscreen surround. I'll show you around it properly and show you any defects and the general condition of it. The windscreen's now stripped of paint, and what's left to do now is just go over with a sander at some point and remove all the remaining filler off the glass fibre and off what I presume is the original gel coat here and at the base. I think the reason these are two different colours, and this is pretty much the raw fiberglass, if it zooms in just here, is that one, the aluminium strip goes across there, and of course the windscreen rubber fits on here. Now it may be that I didn't bother removing the windscreen to do the paint, and because this part is hidden underneath the trim, I didn't even bother to take the paint off there. I don't know, it's just my summation. The holes here all show a little bit of cracking around the periphery on each one going across, so I'm probably going to end up filling those and perhaps re-drilling them, doing it properly, re-fiberglassing of course. But it doesn't look in too bad a condition, to be quite honest with you, apart from the areas where there's a bit of fiberglass pulled out, and as I said before, as I'm going to re-tissue this, all that will be repaired. And in the corner here where I thought there might be some cracking, it's actually not too bad. It doesn't look as though it's been repaired, but as I sand down I'll be able to see more clearly. And the same in the other corner, which we'll have a look at in a second. There are some cracks in this, what I presume is the gel coat, as I've said, but again you can see areas that I haven't done this, I might add, areas where it goes into the fiberglass underneath, so again that's all going to be rectified. Here we are in the other corner, and as I mentioned a few minutes ago, there was a crack in the paint here, and it doesn't appear as though there's any damage there, but again that there is raw glass fibre, so that's all going to be repaired, as I keep saying. You may recall in a previous episode I mentioned that there was rather a draft coming from the bottom of the driver's door, and if I zoom in here you can actually see, even with the weather strip fitted, there's a massive gap there, and it's really ill-fitting. The door's quite close there, and up at this end it's not too bad, but down there you can see a massive gap. If we now compare it to the other side, that is pretty much spot on. Now what's gone on here I do not know. Now on this side that's the original door, because the body number is actually scratched into it. You can see it there. Where's it gone? There we go. 7396. And on the other side I'm not sure whether that's a replacement door. There's a possibility, but I'm not sure. It certainly hasn't got any body number scratched into it. Now this is the sill on the driver's side, and as we move along here, there is a crack there, and the profile of this part here is different to the passenger side, which I'll show you in a minute. Also, the actual width of the sill is larger by about half a mil to three quarters of a centimetre to half a centimetre deeper than the other side. Now just remember that profile there. That's the profile on the passenger side, and as you can see, it's a more free-flowing profile. So which one's been altered? I'll soon find out after I start stripping it down, which I'll be doing in the next episode. So I know one of them's been altered, and I thought it was the passenger side. But with that door fit on the opposite side, I don't know. So anyway, that's for the next episode. So again, thanks for bearing with me on this episode, and I hope you've found something interesting to watch. Please subscribe. There'll be lots more to come, and thanks for watching. Bye.